Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take stacks of information, pull out the key insights, and serve them up for you. Today, we're digging into a really influential but also pretty debated book, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Our mission: unpack its main ideas, figure out why it hits home for so many, and understand why it's still seen as a personal finance classic, with that 4.5-star rating.
Yeah, it's fascinating because it really flips the script on how we usually think about money, jobs, even what education is really for.
Mm.
Kiyosaki bases it all on these two very different dads in his life. His poor dad, that was his biological father, highly educated, very traditional views on jobs and security. And then there's rich dad, his friend's dad, a businessman who taught him totally different lessons about building wealth. It's this contrast that really challenges everything.
Okay, so let's unpack that. If he's challenging the old ways, what are the core ideas? What are the big takeaways from these two different philosophies?
Right, so Kiyosaki boils it down to about 5 main lessons. First one, probably the most famous: the rich don't work for money, they make money work for them. Right? It's not about being lazy, it's about, owning assets that generate income. Getting out of that daily grind, the rat race, as he calls it.
The rat race, right. Trading time for money.
Exactly. Second, he says financial literacy is way more important than academic degrees. Now, he's not saying school is useless, but that schools don't teach you practical stuff about money, like how to read a financial statement or about taxes. He thinks understanding a balance sheet, for instance, is more valuable than a top grade for building wealth.
That's a pretty bold claim, especially given how much emphasis we put on degrees. And he gets specific about assets, too, right? Because his definition can be surprising.
Oh, definitely. That's lesson 3. Assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take money out. And this is
Yeah.
where people often go, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
He famously argues your house, your primary home, isn't an asset, it's a liability. Because it costs you money, mortgage, taxes, upkeep. It doesn't generate income unless you maybe rent it out.
Okay, yeah, that's a big one. So what is an asset, then, in his view?
Things like rental properties,
Hmm.
businesses that run without you constantly being there, stocks that pay dividends, stuff that actually adds income. Which leads to lesson 4. Start investing and building passive income streams early, like as soon as you can. He talks a lot about the power of compounding.
Compounding, yeah, letting your money grow itself over time. And the fifth lesson pushes beyond just having a job.
Totally. The final core idea is don't just rely on your job. Build businesses, build investments. Think like an owner, not just an employee. Maybe it's a side business that can grow. Maybe it's just smart investing. But it's about creating systems that make money for you.
You can really see why this book gets people thinking differently. It gives them that aha moment. It's known for being, well, pretty easy to get into, right? Even if you're new to finance.
Exactly. That's one of its strengths. It's relatable, uses simple language, lots of stories. It offers this whole new mindset about money and work, encourages you to think about entrepreneurship, about educating yourself financially.
But, okay, it's not universally loved. There must be downsides, right? What are the main criticisms people level against it?
That's a really important point. While it's super motivational, a big critique is that it's, well, light on the how-to. It gets you fired up, but doesn't give you a detailed plan like, okay, great, now what exactly do I invest in? How do I build a business? It's more philosophy than practical steps.
More why than how.
Precisely. And some critics question the stories themselves. Are they completely true or maybe a bit exaggerated for effect, more illustrative than literal fact? That could be a sticking point for some readers.
Gotcha. So, pulling this all together for our listeners, what does this mean for you? If you're thinking about reading it, who is this book actually for?
Well, I think Rich Dad Poor Dad is really powerful for, say, young professionals just starting out. Students, recent grads, maybe questioning the standard path.
Mhm.
Also, anyone feeling stuck in that 9-to-5 grind and looking for a different way. And definitely aspiring entrepreneurs or investors who need that initial mindset shift.
So it's like a starting point, a way to change your thinking.
Yeah, exactly. The final verdict. It might not give you a detailed investment portfolio breakdown, but it provides a really strong mental foundation. It forces you to question assumptions about money, work, and success. It's almost like required reading if you're just beginning to explore financial independence.
Okay, so here's something to chew on. Kiyosaki's core idea is making money work for you. In today's world, where jobs feel less secure than maybe they used to, what could that actually look like in your life, beyond just the traditional paycheck? Could exploring that mindset be the first real step towards a different kind of financial future?